Okay, does this resonate to you? Well, let me talk to you about China and how to do business with the Chinese, because today China is definitely the booming economy, the innovation hub, and it has absolutely nothing to learn from us, and we all have everything to learn from them. As I said, it's a booming economy, and it's a booming economy because it was not a booming economy before like we were in the West. So they have had everything new. They started from zero, and they did not care about what the West was doing, and they built up their own environment, both digitally and offline. Okay, so when we talk about China as a booming economy, we definitely see the Chinese consumer market. It's a huge market. It's a huge market because there are 1.4 billion people there. And of these 1.4 billion people, 900 million of them, they buy daily online. Be it food, be it commodities, be it any goods or services, they just buy it online. There is not a single Chinese who doesn't have a mobile phone. Even the street beggar, they have a QR code with their WeChat Pay account so that you can tip them and you can give them money just because they are there with a QR code, okay? So when we talk about Chinese consumers and the way to live the experience, they had to think about different opportunities on how to sell, different experience to give to their consumers. So what they call it new retail. What is new retail? New retail is simply a way to get the customers on several touch points before they can decide and place an order. Okay, and being it a new retail, so important and so difficult to achieve because it's everything and about everything. As a matter of fact, they call it an omni-channel market. We all have to think about China whenever we plan about our business. And so the question is China a milking cow? And we would all love to say, yes, China is the place to be to make money. I wouldn't say so. China is a calf. It's a little baby cow, okay? It's not yet ready to be milked, okay? But it's ready to receive a lot of food. So it's a ready market to be fed. What does this mean? It means that it's a lot in terms of investment, in terms of time, in terms of struggles that you have to invest in such a territory, okay? Why me? My name is Alberto Antinucci, and since I was 19, back in 1988, I moved to China because I thought it was a great idea to develop a business. So I've been running business on and off China, in China, with the Chinese for the last 30 years. This gave me the opportunity to fail tremendously, continuously, to feel excited about it, okay, to feel the power of being a foreigner in an alien country to me, but to really be an alien in a mother country like China is. This gave me the possibility to great ideas development, but at the same time to big step back. And every time I failed, I say, why did that happen? Why is that the solution that I gave not working properly? What is it that I did wrong? I mean, we all had an agreement. We all signed a contract. The papers were okay. Every time we talked to each other, it was like, yeah, no problem. And it was really a no problem. I mean, I was talking to people about the new ideas, the new products, product development, product design. It'd go like, oh, no problem, no problem. Yeah, how can you do this? No problem. Can we do that? No problem. It was the no problem country. And still now, you go to China and then you talk to everybody, go like, oh, no problem. And does that really mean that there is no problem? Let me tell you, they are right. There is no problem. And I've learned it on my own experience. And the reason is very simple. The answer to the question is, if there is a problem, then you may have a solution. Then you put the solution in place and then the problem disappears. Thus, no problem. But if there is no solution, why the hell do you stick on that issue? No problem, guys. I mean, move on. Forget about it. Move on. Just go on with your plan B. Every time we go to China, we need to understand that whatever you have in mind is not what they have in mind. No matter you want to buy products, no matter you want to sell products, services, or what. Okay, the solution they have is not what you may think. And the reason why you are there talking to them, not necessarily is the reason why they want you to be there talking to them. I'm not saying China is bad. On the opposite, I'm saying China is good because it gives you the possibility to understand better the situation of your place. I mean, why are you there and what you want to accomplish? I've been doing for most of my life product sourcing, product trading, product development. I run my own factories, okay? I run my own product design, and I run also business for other people and for other manufacturers from Europe, from America, selling to China, and vice versa, from Europe, from America, buying from China. And every time there were very simple issues. So the issues is not something that you need to find it as a block in stone. There is not that, okay? The issue is something that you need to walk it around. You need to understand what is the problem, and you need to come out with a solution. If there is no solution, as I said, then forget about the problem. Move on. Okay, so the first struggles I had, it was about the concept of time and the concept of money they have. In the West, and I think even we are in Australia, I think we can all speak the same concept. Whenever we talk about time, we think that time is money. On the other hand, whenever we talk about money, we always try to get a cheaper price, a cheaper offer, a cheaper solution to get your products and to maximize the profit, or eventually reflect your advantage to your public, to your consumer. And this is where there is a little bit of a struggle. Let me tell you my experience. My friend Mario, he was buying products from China, and he wanted to get the best price for his products. Okay, Mario is a bold man. He's a good businessman. He comes from Italy and imports computer products. Okay, and he always wanted to have the cheaper item to sell on his market. What happened with Mario is that he was having difficulties in trusting his Chinese suppliers. So he asked me to be his interface, to collect his money and eventually pay after the goods was ready to be delivered. But Mario's intention to save money was always an intention to get a cheaper product, not a cheaper price. Then eventually the situation turned out to be not in his favor, because buying a cheaper product means buying a lower quality product. Because if something is the market price is there, okay? We know what the components cost. We know what the supply chain costs. We know what the transportation, the duties, the VAT, whatever, you know? The price is there. So having a cheaper price means that you are going to take something out of your original products, and taking out things and value from the products means that you're selling something cheaper. But cheaper in value, not cheaper in price. So you're giving them something wrong. And thus, everybody, when they think about China and says, oh, China is a place for products which are not valuable or cheap stuff and stuff like that, then I tell you, well, you are wrong, because the problem is not China as a manufacturing country. The problem is about China serving importers that want a lower value products. And so this is something that you need to keep it in mind. Every product has its price, every service has its price, and if you want a cheaper price for it, then you're going to sacrifice the value of it. So you're going to put in your market something which is less valuable, and thus your image will reflect on it. Now, the concept of time is also very different from us. Well, as I say, we think about time as being a matter of money. So the faster we do, the better we are on the market, and the cheaper we get on the results, okay? Well, it's not true. Because when you start a discussion, a business communication with your Chinese partner, what happens is that they are telling you, yes, 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 no problem, no problem, no problem. They assume whatever you say, and then they reflect it with a time frame. And the answer not always reflect what you're expecting to get from them. So you start getting frustrated, you start getting nervous, you start to push your suppliers because you're wasting time. Now think about it on the other side, okay? What are they trying to do? They are manufacturers, okay? They are trying to get your order. So you think that the earlier they get your order, the earlier they get your money, the better it is for them to run the business. But what really happened is that the situation is different. They're trying to get more information about you. They consider you just a tool to understand better about the marketplace you live in. So under stress, you will start to tell them, my customer is pushing me for delivery. So they understand that the product is having a high demand. And then they say, yeah, but we're not ready with the production. There is a small issue. Say, what is the issue? And then they explain to you something. And then they go like, okay, you go back and tell them a lot of information about that issue is not important, that the situation can be changed, and so on. So basically what they do, they put you under pressure to get as many information about the market so that they can accommodate their own production line and their own sales line, so that they can eventually go and offer the same product at the right price with the right solution to your competitors, the one who's pushing you on the market to be earlier. So what is the problem with that? Are they unfaithful to you? No, absolutely not. They're playing the game. They have a different concept of time. When they need to go ready for the production, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 products are made just in one day. Okay. The problem is, when is they want to do it, okay? So you have to find out that this situation needs to be accomplished with certain time frames, which not always need to be adapted to your needs. And this is why I tell you a very simple things. And every time I talk to my friends, I always explain to them that the most important issues that you have to face when you do business with China is that you need to be adaptive. So you need to use your adaptive intelligence. You need to be able to take place into a different shape of yourself, your thoughts, your strategies, your exit strategies. Not one, not two, not three, but many different exit strategies. Many different suppliers for the same project, many different solutions for the same products. This means that no matter what happens with partner A, partner B, or partner C, then you will always get out with your solution. So be water, my friend, because that's the way you can really get a solution out of your issues. And another important concept that I want you to know about is that not always what we feel, what we believe about having a good relationship with your Chinese counterpart is a matter of a relationship, okay? There is this word, it's called guanxi. Guanxi in Chinese means relationship. It is something that it's very useful in China, sorry, but it's very useful in China because it links you to everybody. That means that Mr. Chang is connected to Mr. Wang, who has a factory for product A, and the suppliers of Mr. Chen, who is a factory for product B. And if they need a favor to each other, they're going to do it right away. And so things move fast and so on. But everybody, when they translate the relationship, so the guanxi factor, okay, they miss something. It's not that because I know someone, not because I know Mr. Chang, that is going to do it for me. What did I do to Mr. Chang to ask him this favor? Why should he do it to me? So when we talk about guanxi, that everybody talk about, I wouldn't say it's a matter of relationship. I have a relationship with thousands and thousands of Chinese people and manufacturers and suppliers and vendors and so on. But only few of them, I can relate to them and pick up the phone and call them and say, can you do me a favor? And will you do me a favor? And they will obviously say yes. And are those that I gave something first. those that I work at pro bono, those that I suggest, I recommended, I sit down in their office, I train their people, I correct their ID design, their industrial design was wrong, maybe for little things, and I give them free of charge. So they owe me something. So that relationship become a reciprocity. And this is where you really need to think about it. Now, let me tell you a story about my other friends. His name is Emilio. He's a winemaker. He is a winemaker. He does great wine. Beautiful wine, made in Italy, Verona area, Amarone and all the stuff. So you guys know how much worth is a wine market in China. And he has been going to China to several exhibitions, to several wine tasting dinners organized by him and by other companies just to promote his products. And whenever he talks about his products, which is #1 product in Italy, is named the best Italian red wine by many competition. It's got full of awards, okay? Then people say, oh, this is great, we love it, but they don't buy it. Now, it's always come up that it's too expensive. So he was really stressed out. And one day my brother is a real estate agent in Venice. I was born and raised in Venice, Italy. And my brother is a real estate agent. And he called me up and said, listen, I got a customer who just bought a restaurant, okay? And he's flying tomorrow to China because he's selling his wine. That was Emilio. And I say, but maybe it's good you talk to him because he's not happy about the solution that he's got. And then Emilio calls me up and says, yeah, I'm flying to China tomorrow, but on the way back, I'd like to meet you. If you are in Shanghai or anywhere else, I'd like to meet you and to talk about it. When we met, we understood. And I clearly understood that first, he didn't have any exit strategies on his business. Second, he didn't have any relationship in this business. The only things he was giving to people was a face. So he got a lot of mienze, which means face, giving good reputation to people because his product was good. The solution to that was very clear. He had a perfect product. He had an incredible good product, perfect for the market, but he didn't know how to sell. He was only giving people a try, a taste, and then he was expecting people to buy. But that's not how it works. So I said, listen, Emilio, let's do this, okay? You have been investing a lot of money already for the last couple of years, okay? I'm asking you another 2 years. But in these 2 years, I'm not going to make any sales. Let's work on how we name your brand in the country. Let's work on communication. Let people find your products, name it in several accounts like WeChat account, on Weibo, which is a listing on your website, Chinese, and on other influencer site that they talk about your products, but nobody can find. So everybody talk about it, but nobody knows where to buy. Let's try this strategy. It's going to cost us some money. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be easy, but let's work it out, okay? Do you trust me? I mean, what else you have got to learn? I mean, the same amount of money that you have invested so far, I'm asking you to keep investing it money the different way. And so we did. And I was also able to accompany him to some wine tasting event. And the most beautiful part of it was that it was true. I mean, I got people queuing up just to try his wine. I got people just going mad when they tried the wine. They go like, this is the most beautiful wine. They start talking about flavor and senses and experience, and it was just crazy. I'm not a wine expert, okay? I am a wine lover, but not an expert. So when people talk to me about how the back taste of a wine tastes like berries, and then the other one tell me that it tastes like wood, and then the other one tell me that it tastes like cabbage. For me, it's okay, because it doesn't really matter to me. Also because Chinese have different taste. They eat different food. They have a different mouth-watering solution. The smell, the taste, and everything is completely different from what is our perception. So a good wine for them does not necessarily be a good wine for me, and vice versa. But this wine was incredible. What happened is that I understood immediately what was the trigger point. The trigger point was that the wine was not priced enough for the experience that was given to the Chinese. What does that mean? It means that they were expecting the wine to be much more expensive since it was so good. You know, one aged for 8 years in 2 different barrels. Okay, and then it was a blend between international grades, but it was done with special techniques. So I talked to Emilio, please don't give out any price. If people ask you to buy the product, tell them you don't have it. Don't give them anything. And the next step was the Chinese queuing up again after they tasted wine because they really wanted to buy it. He was struggling to sell in 1 bottle of wine for 150 euro, ex-work his factory. I was struggling not to sell the product for 7,000 renminbi out of a place. 7,000 renminbi, it's about 1,000 euro. So it was almost 10 times more the price, but he was willing to sell out the product. So I had a queue up of 100 people wanting to buy at least 1 bottle, if not a container, if not 10 containers of bottles, for 10 times the price, just because they knew that it was a special product for them, and they couldn't find it anywhere. So you understand that this completely changed the scenario of the business for him. Emilio understood that he was not giving the right value to his products, and understood that being in a different country does not mean that you are as good as your success in your country. And this is the major problem. When you go to China, what you need to have, you need to feel the experience of a journey. You need to feel the experience of a business that is there. You need to understand the people. You need to sit with them. You need to have a complete understanding of what they do, what they eat, how they sleep, where they sleep, how they wash themselves. You know, you need to have an understanding of things that is not the same from the country you come from. So we Westerners pretend and assume that what works for us must work for everybody. Well, let me tell you something different. China is not everybody. China is China. Now, I've been stressing a lot the concept. Everybody think that they don't need to go to China for their business. But not everybody understands how important it is to understand the Chinese market for the future of their business, no matter what. Because at the end of the day, it is not much about your business plan, which is going toward China, but it's much more about when China is coming to you, because China will come to you and knock at your door. And the question is, are you ready? Now, my name is Alberto Antinucci. I've been living 30 years in China, okay? This is my LinkedIn connection. And this is my very short presentation of my last 30 years. I've got much more to tell you about, and I'd love to hear your questions. Thank you.
Fantastic. Let's hear it for Alberto. Okay, please can I get a show of hands for anyone who has a question for Alberto? Okay, I may bring this down to you. Okay, catch.
Hello. Hi. In the tech space, I've heard a lot of people say that when they try to work with Chinese companies, there's a bit of mistrust, maybe just around the difference in working cultures. I know a lot of people say, I've heard of a story of someone who tried to work with a Chinese tech company, and they said, well, okay, well, we can't work with you because we don't trust that your workers work hard enough. And they asked, and the guy said, no, my workers work very hard. And the Chinese people said, if I give you a call on Sunday, where are your workers? So a lot of people have been talking about the 996 work culture. Do you have any thoughts to share on that?
Yeah, sure. Oh, well, I mean, the 996 concept is a matter of what the Jack Ma said, you know. I want my people to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. In reality, you're going to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including holidays, Christmas, and whatever. The reason is that there is not a time frame to work in China. You know, you just go and do everything. But since 10 years ago, everybody got connected on the internet. Then questions and reply to your questions goes real time. So you will be able to get your customers contacting you at 11 p.m. on Sunday and tells you, okay, I need this ASAP, as soon as possible. And then you go like, yeah, let me give it to you. Now, if you got these questions from any Western friends, okay, or customers you have, you're going to tell him, yeah, okay, on Monday I get back to my computer and I'll send you the information. But that was on a Saturday night, and then Sunday happened something else, and then when Monday you send the information, then maybe he has got already the information from someone else and you lost the deal. So because of the dynamic that happens behind everything, I wouldn't waste any time, and I would always be reachable no matter what. I know you may not like the answer, but this is why they win and why we fail. Oh, it's as simple as that.
Fabulous. I think we had another question from the other side. Do you mind passing the catch box to your right?
Hi, thank you for sharing your insights. What you shared with us today, is that applicable to other Asian cultures as well, or just China?
Well, China is the largest economy we have in Asia, if not in the world. Other cultures have other issues. I have experience with Indonesia, with the Philippines, with Vietnam, with Malaysia, with Singapore. And I can't say that you can apply the same issue to everyone, but there is a but. But China is really penetrating their economy. I mean, all means of payments like WeChat Pay and Alipay and means of communication are getting placed into it. And if it is not a Chinese-based situation like WeChat or Alibaba, then there is a Lazada, there is Grab, okay, which are controlled anyway by Alibaba, by Chinese company. So this shift will be soon. And this is why I'm telling you, you may not have any business plan ready for China today, but you better be ready because China is coming to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we've got two final questions at the front here. Can we get the catch box, please, to the front?
Who am I passing it?
You can throw it.
Wow.
Great catch.
Good. Good catch.
So I was going to ask, do you speak Chinese? Because I mean,
我会说中文，没有什么问题。
okay, how important is to speak the language in order to engage
Oh,
with
well,
China?
let me tell you why I started to learn Chinese right away. I thought I didn't need a Chinese language capability because, I'm Italian. I could speak English, which was already a good step.
I'm Greek, by the way.
Sorry?
I'm Greek, by the way.
Good. So I didn't think I needed to speak the language. But then I realized that every time I use an interpreter, a local interpreter, I realized that they were not translating what I was saying, but they were translating what they wanted the other guy to understand. And vice versa, when the other guy spoke, his attitude, his gestures, his stuff, translated to me, or I interpreted it in a different way than what it was really the real meaning that I was told by the interpreter itself. So I found out myself lost. And one day I got really, really mad with my assistant, okay? She was a Chinese girl, very young, okay? And she kept not translating something that she was keep telling me. That the supplier was telling me. And I said, what does he say? Because they say it and they laugh it. I felt like they were making fun of me. And then she goes, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She wanted to keep her face and my face. So she doesn't want to tell me what was wrong about it. And then I remember the words, okay? She started saying, the words were like tapaichu, tapaichu, tapaichu. I didn't know what it exactly meant, okay? And then I stop a friend and say, listen, I got this guy who called me tapaichu. I don't know what it means. Oh, well, that means big white pig. And I say, why does he call you? Oh, because you're white. And you're like a pig. You're a foreigner. That's how they call the foreigners in this prejudice way. I said, this is unacceptable. How can I possibly have a supplier coming to my office, talking to me and addressing me that way, and my assistant not translating that to me? I said, I'm going to learn the language. It took about 6 months, and I started to really, 6 months, yeah, full immersion, deep dive. I was like stopping everybody. You speak to me in Chinese, and if I don't understand, I'll ask you to repeat. And then I got it, studying day and night, and in 6 months, I work it out. Now, after 30 years, okay, it's okay, I think in Chinese.
Yeah.
And it's easier for me to get things done in Chinese because it's very, very straightforward language, okay, but doesn't have too many fuss. And it's something that really helped me. But if I haven't had that accident, I would have gone like, oh, I don't need Chinese. My secretary does it for me.
Yeah. Did you also learn how to write?
I learned how to read.
Yeah.
I did not practice enough to say that I know how to write.
Yeah.
Okay, but I learned how to read. It's very important. And now you get the pinyin translation, so with the Roman alphabet, so you can understand what it says. But usually before nothing was available.
Yeah.
Also I lived the 10 years in Taiwan and then the rest in mainland China, and there are two different writing. In mainland China is simplified Chinese, in Taiwan is a traditional Chinese, so it's a lot of difference. But the spoken words are the same.
Okay, and we have one final question at the front.
Thank you. So for a startup, like if we want to kind of like launch a Kickstarter campaigns and then manufacturing a product, do you think we should think about China and go to China instead of like your own country here first?
It's a very interesting question. It would be silly not to think about China. It would be silly to think that China is the only solution. So what I'm saying is, whenever you're planning your launch of a product, okay, and if it is a technological product, you'll find much more resources available on China. Actually, in Shenzhen only. There is one place, it's called Huachanpei. It's along streets. It's the cradle of technology. You go there, you get your things done in a week. While here in Sydney, probably may take 2 months. In Europe, maybe 3 to 4 months. Okay, so in a week, you know exactly what you're gonna die for.
Right.
Okay, so to shorten the time, go to China. Before you do anything like that, be sure to have not contracts, okay? It's not a contract the problem. The contract is just a piece, for Chinese, it's just a piece of paper that they can use it to stop you from doing anything, but they don't really care about the content of a contract.
Yeah.
But just protect your ID.
Yeah.
Your industrial design, protect your IP, your intellectual properties.
Right.
Just spend, a few $100s and find a Chinese office that can protect your things. Okay, just deposit, and then you go, you can talk, and then you can eventually stop competitors doing the same product as yours.
Right, because like people kept like asking like, when you go to China, you have to be careful because this is a copycat country.
Yeah.
Like they can, the manufacturer can easily kick you out because if they know like that's a good product. So if you don't protect yourself on day one, then they can take over, and then you become like a second.
Okay.
House,
Let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I designed products for many years.
Yeah.
I love when people copy my products and go to the market before me. That means that my idea is great.
Ladies and
If
gentlemen.
my idea wasn't great, I wouldn't get any copy.
That's true. Competition is one indicator of
So
success.
let them do their job. They are just validating your idea.